Take your marks.
Listen to the crowd.
This is a remarkable performance.
A world record, Deadly. Have you ever seen anything like it?
He can't believe it, but it just happened.
Hello and welcome to About Last Night, the show that reviews all of the swimming action here at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Last night was the penultimate night of racing, and let me tell you, it was an exciting one in the pool. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Mason. I've been your host this week, and I'm being joined tonight by the wonderful Bailey Jackson and, of course, the incredible James Gibson. Now, James, I just have to say, congratulations.
Thanks, John.
Yes.
Thanks, John.
We're all very proud of him, ladies and gentlemen. 2 nights ago, had a couple of your swimmers on the podium. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was a pretty special night. Men's 50 freestyle, get Ben Proud and Florent in silver and bronze. Half of me is strange emotions because she's that close to gold.
Yeah.
And a fair play to Cameron McAvoy and Coach Tim Lane. It was incredible swim the finals. It was a great race. And then Florent to come out like the big showman. It was not in the race plan, by the way, to be stood there clapping his hands, getting the crowd going. It was more like honestly, it felt like more like a music event, just getting the crowd going, but it was wonderful. So I'm very happy. My voice has gone a little bit.
I can hear that. But I tell you what, I loved him getting the crowd revved up, though. It was a great start to the night, and look, congrats. We're all very proud of you here at the About Last Night studio. So, speaking of great racing, we're going to dive straight into last night's. It was a fantastic night. We kicked it off with the men's 100 fly. Kristof Milak obviously taking that title, got the silver in the 200 the other night, but he was looking good out there. It was like perfectly timed race, I think, James. So give us your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, so when you look at how you break down, when you're breaking down the event, Kristof is traditionally more of a 200 swimmer. He weighs what he's known for, but he's also an exceptional 100s guy. He's Olympic champion. So he hasn't quite got the speed of some of the other guys, but he lets them do the work down the first 50. So what Kristof did, he built his energy through that whole second 50. Like you said, good timing, come over the top of them in the last 25. And as a coach, if you're going to tell it, if you want to model for a young athlete, that's your one.
That's the one?
That is the one.
And you mentioned Josh Liendo there. I had big expectations for him coming into this event, and he didn't disappoint. Like, he was neck and neck with Kristof in that final 50, but for that final stroke, it was almost like he had to have this extra short stroke there. It was just a little off. It looked like that to me, but I don't know your thoughts on that one.
Now, you know what? As coaches, we say to the athletes, spot your wall, spot your finishes. But they were super tired.
Of course,
in that moment. So they've used all their energy there. And yeah, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. But generally you can guide your finish. There's a little T on the bottom of the pool. And you can see that as an athlete. And so you can kind of adjust 10 metres out to try and hit the wall on a full stroke, because obviously that's faster.
But it was so good to see him place, finally on the podium. I mean, he had the 50-meter freestyle where he was a reserve, came in and ended up in fourth. He's so close. So finally seeing him on the podium was amazing.
And interesting about that, because getting on the podium, it's a process. It's not just the one final. It's not the one race. They have to go through the rounds. So Josh swam the 50 freestyle final. He finished fourth. And then he had to deal with the disappointment of that to then go and swim down, and then 25 minutes later come and do the semi-final, the 100 fly. So it's a super difficult double because the time is so small. Fair play to him. That's a good process.
Another big shout out going out to Ilya Karun. It was a great night for Canada, right, in that first race, silver and bronze. He got bronze in the 200, bronze in the 100. He's only 19. I think there's going to be big things from him.
Amazing. And you touched on Canada and what momentum those boys had going into the rest of the night for what was going to happen. But I think to come away like with performances that he's done at a young age, and come in excited at the Olympics and controlling his nerves. He's got maturity. Yeah. So it's another potential guy that's going to push Kristof to the limit over the next few years as well.
The next Olympic cycle, we're going to be seeing big things from Ilya Karun. So that was the men's 100 fly. It was a fantastic way to start the night. And then, of course, we moved into the drama of the evening, the women's 200 IM. Now, before this race started, we had a late withdrawal from lane 8. That was Ella Ramsey from Australia. She was got ill, came in, warmed up, and then got pulled at the last minute. So it was only swam as a 7-lane final, which is not something you see very often at the Olympics.
No, and that's why we have reserves. So you might often see in the result sheet, there's a little R next to the name. So if you're outside the top 8, if you're positioned 9th or 10th, you are a reserve, you're an alternate for the final. So I don't know what's happened, I'm not sure, but if she's unwell, we obviously wish her all the best, because it has to be pretty serious to pull out of an Olympic final, but that can happen in sport. So even if you are ninth, Josh Leando was ninth, someone pulled out, he got moved up. So it's happened twice in 2 days at the Olympics, in the big show.
In the big show. And, you know, it was a show in that 200 IM as well. Summer Mcintosh, you know, she is having the most incredible week. It was her 4th medal, 3 golds and a silver. She's 17. She's just a prodigy. And watching how she swam that tonight, like her final 25 was out of this world.
Yeah, again, we talk about coaching tactics and strategy. She has an amazing race process that she's worked on with her coach and got it perfected. So out in the first 50 fly, you know, at a relatively controlled pace, backstroke, started to push it on a bit. So that's when she kind of initiated the legs, pulling on the backstroke. Then into the breaststroke leg was actually Walsh from the USA that really took it. You know, we were all there watching thinking, oh, everyone is saying Summer's got this, Summer's got this. But Walsh pulled away. She was going down that third 50. As Summer come out of the freestyle, she started to pull her back and neck, and again, just brought in those legs in the last 15 meters and just hammered it into the wall.
And, you know, you talk about that race plan and her seeing so comfortable in it. For me, what I find so impressive, you know, we talk about her only being 17, but she's so comfortable and so controlled and so seems confident, I suppose.
As an athlete, you can see the person in front. Like, you can see them. You can see them there. So just to stay calm, not to panic. And we do see sometimes when a swimmer makes a move, the people in second and third next to them can start to rush their strokes a little bit. Their race plan goes out the window. But like execution, wonderful.
Of course, there was Kate Douglas, of course. We're going to touch on her just quickly before we get to the drama because, well, here she got to show it because she hits all 4 strokes and she got that silver medal. And, you know, it's so nice to see her getting this recognition and hitting these results. Big shout out to Kate Douglas, but the bronze medal, first of all, went to Alex Walsh. Results weren't confirmed. There was a disqualification. We all waited with bated breath. Alex Walsh disqualified, and it was because of a turn. She got DQ'd from the backstroke to breaststroke turn. So for those at home who don't know swimming, James, I want you to talk us through what are the rules and what did she do wrong?
Right, okay, yeah, so now in a swimming pool, I found out literally the other day, there's 38 cameras from Hawkeye.
Wow.
So there's 38 cameras on the bottom of the pool. Thankfully they're white, so they blend in with the bottom. So the judges can see everything now. For back to breast turn, the technicalities of it, you have to remain on your back. You cannot be on your front, and she was judged to have come over on her front before she had touched the wall. Okay, so that's the reason, and it was picked up by Hawkeye. Yeah.
Do you think that's something that she realized in the moment, like, hey, I'm making this mistake, or do you think that it's just something that may have slipped on her end?
You know when you made a small error. You know, if you've gone too far over, you'll be able to feel that. But I honestly don't think I think she's so well drilled. I don't think in the moment she really knew what happened because her breaststroke was fantastic.
It was her
awesome.
best leg.
It was awesome. So I just I feel for her now. I feel for her coach, and no one means to you know. We've seen a few disqualifications this week, and no one means to do it, and it's heartbreaking for an athlete. But you know, we have to talk about it.
Of course. Then obviously went down to the next racer, the next swimmer. Kaylee McEwen got a bronze medal. She's had 2 golds, 2 bronzes this week, and a great week for her. Out in lane 1, and I think like. She was kind of racing her own race in this. Like, she went out like a shot. I think she was like over on the side of the pool and not sure what was going to happen in the pool, and she just went for it, you know, and before she knew it, bronze medal. Yeah.
Took her chances. Outside lane, got a chance.
Got a lane, got a chance. We saw it there. So that was the women's 2 IM. We then moved on to a big one tonight. This was one of my favorite races of the night, the women's 800 meter. London, Rio, Tokyo, Paris. She did it. It was Katie Ledecky. We've been talking about it all week. But I tell you, it was a battle to get there. Ariane fought her the whole way.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was watching your show last night when Bruno was in, and it was like, it's sewn on. It's like, absolutely not.
No.
And look, you've got Ariana Titmus in that race. You know, it was not sewn on. And you know, I know Dean and Boxall, her coach, and there was no way they were going to let that go. And Ariana stuck to her. That was the plan. What Katie was doing, it was interesting. And in like the 50 from the turn end to the start end, she breathes towards. Ariana, she breathes to the right. So she could just keep her in check. So she knew exactly where she was. Yeah. Pretty much the whole race. You know, and she just kept her in the pocket, 1 meter behind. And just put the burners on at the last minute. Well, we're around about 150 to go. And then really on the last 100.
Do you think her taking that breath to the right was a great enough advantage for her to, you know, really pull away? Or, you know, if she would have, say, you know, taking the breath to the left. Like how much would that have affected this race or the outcome?
Well, it's interesting because the athlete we had Dan Whiffin's story when he breathes. Yeah. I said he breathes to the same side, so he does 50 breathing to the right, 50 breathing to the left, which means he's looking the same way. Generally, an athlete will have one preferred side. For Katie, that's to the right. So, but there's an advantage if your competitor is next to you down from the turn end to the start end, because that's the 50 what you're going to finish on. So you can know exactly where they are. Otherwise, you're breathing away and you can't tell what's going on next year. So the lane draw helped that. It was the lane draw that helped.
And I think for Ariane, what really impressed me in this race, she has the world record in that 200, the 400. She has that speed, and she was going neck and neck, and it was just sort of that concept. I think everyone in that pool was sort of thinking, can she do it? Like, can she stick with Katie? But Katie's just got that engine, that she just, Ariane didn't have enough to get there in the end. But it was a fantastic finish, and of course, we got to give a shout out, Paige Madden.
Yeah.
What a final 100 she had.
Yeah.
Iconic.
I was actually watching what was going on behind the leaders. And it was excellent to see the different race strategies, like Lani Pallister out fast, and then Quadrella come on strong. And Paige Madden was just sitting in the middle of it all. Yeah. And she went with 200. Yeah. And I thought she was going to get Ariana at one point. I mean,
it was a very, very impressive final 100. I don't know what the split times was, but it looked fast. She seemed so relaxed, and then suddenly she was there. Yeah. Bronze medal. I have to now say that with that medal, Katie now ties Larissa Latinina for the most amount of medals at any sport in Olympic Games. Just the GOAT, really.
How many is it, just off the topic?
It's 14 in total. 14, 9 gold.
Oh my
9 gold medals.
Wow.
Yeah, and that Team USA have needed some like a strong evening, and it was great for Team USA.
It really was
for their captain, for their sort of their most seasoned swimmer here and most successful to come in and deliver. You follow your captains. You follow, and captains follow show by example.
It really was, and it was great to see. It was great to see Katie awarded that medal as well by the World Aquatics president, Captain Hussein Al-Musallam. To share that moment with her was pretty amazing. And you talk about Team USA. Yeah. We finished with a bang, ladies and gentlemen. World record. It was a world record for Team USA in that mixed 4x100 medley. Talk us through it. Obviously, different strategies come in with a medley relay, especially a mixed one. So Team USA just got it right tonight.
So, when the mixed relays come in, the purists didn't like it. Swimming purists, this is not right, we can't do this. But it is now one of the best events because, you can choose your relay order. So you have to have 2 males and 2 females, and you can put them in any order you like. So, you can have, it opens it up to more countries because you could have, you don't have to have the same depth to field a strong team. We had Team USA leading off with 2 men, Team China leading off with 2 men, and Team France leading off with 2 men. Generally, that is the strategy, but always, most teams will have a male breaststroker as well, because that's where the biggest differential is in times. And Ryan Murphy led off a time of 52.0, which almost wins the individual race. Yeah. And people step up, especially the Americans. And I say this about time, when you race in America, you've got it. It's a big race, always. They're never going to give you a medal. And Ryan Murphy leading off there. Then the fastest split in the breaststroke was Qin Haiyan from China. So Qin Haiyan has had a bit of a difficult meet. Let's call it a difficult meet. Yeah. He was coming here as the favourite to win the 100 breaststroke, and he finished 7th.
World record holder in the 200. World record
holder. That's why they're great, because he was 57.5 tonight, which is a world-class split in the relay. So he's having a difficult week, but he then brings it. He brings it in there. But just on a side note, Leon Marchand. He was in there swimming the breaststroke, and he split a time of 58.6.
Crazy.
Yeah.
In 100.
But that's the dynamic of the race. Yeah. There's people swimming fast everywhere, and it's difficult to understand who's winning and who's not. And it all comes down ultimately to that last 100 meters. I'd love to see a 4x50 mixed in the Olympics as well, because I like the sprint events. But I'm really into these dynamics because it's strategy, it's tactics, there's narrative in there. Yeah. You've got a lot to talk about.
If you were coaching this race, what would your thought process be? How are you structuring your team?
It depends on the talent, what you've got in your pool. So I think if I have unlimited talent, I'd be going male breaststroke, female fly, female freestyle. But sometimes you don't have that luxury. So you may have an exceptional female backstroker, and it just makes sense to put her on the front. Sure. So also in there, there's this element of the waves. The waves slow people down. So when you're picking your order, it's always better to be out front. It's better to be out front than in the wash.
To get that world record was, like you say, amazing for them and amazing for the crowd to get another one and to be there to sort of finish the night for our penultimate night of racing.
I know. Team USA. If I haven't said it once, I'll say it again.
Constantly. Well, thank you so much for joining us, James, but we get to do it all again tonight. And guess what? It's the last night of racing. I'm kind of sad. It's been a fun week. But we're finishing, of course, with a bang. The women's 50-meter freestyle final. We got the men's 1500-meter freestyle final, and then the men's and women's 4x100 medley relays. The best of the best. So let's touch on it. Women's 50 free. James, give us your pick.
Sarah Schoch.
Of course.
So
Yeah, I mean, Olympic record last night in the semi-final. She was like 0.05 off her own world record. She's definitely the one to beat. But Katarzyna Vasek for Poland was looking pretty good as well. And it's great to see her back, you know, after her story. But we'll see what they do tomorrow. The men's 1500. James, who'd you pick?
Dan Whiffen, breathing to the same side all the way through.
We'd love to see it. The men's 4x100 medley relay.
I want to see France do well in this at home.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a party atmosphere and crazy loud.
I love it. What a way to finish.
What a way to finish.
And lastly, the women's 4x100 medley relay. You have.
I'm going to go for, it's going to be Team USA.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Go Australia.
Yeah. But it's also good tomorrow. Like it's close. Who's going to win the meet?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
gold medal counts. It's still all to play for with 1 day to go.
I know. It's going to be a way to finish. But it's been fantastic.
We'll see you tonight for our final night of racing. Thanks for joining us for another episode of About Last Night.